What is up, guys, gals, Hookah pals? NEMO'S Smokes here, and today I'm going to be bringing a few reviews at you. 3, in fact.
Oh, baby, a triple!
So, first up, we've got the Hookah King Hose Premium. You can choose the side of the Rebel Alliance or the Empire. And I believe that there's some copyright dodgy type stuff, because I mean Star Wars is pretty worldwide now. I don't think you're going to find a corner of the earth where you can take their properties and get away with it. So with that, you're going to have this pretty dope. I got the Rebel Alliance one, so this is a blue energy long knife. Trying to avoid saying that word. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't think I'm going to get sued for reviewing it. But anyway, you've got the little Hookah King text here. Got the little grippy grip type handle. Kind of a, I believe this is similar to Luke's, and it's a nice decent length. It's not, if this was as long as a lightsaber, I think you would find it pretty unusable. And then if you unscrew these here, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to mess with lining it back up. But there's just little notches that these sit in, and these look like activation buttons, but they also double as keeping this handle on, because you can actually take this handle off and use this as just like a normal blue aluminum handle. And this is a very nice aluminum. I have yet to see a single scratch on it or a fingerprint. It doesn't smudge. The thing is, though, this tubing is easily the worst I have ever seen. Look at this. So I got this, and on the day that I received it, so I pull the hose out, and it's all, rolled up to fit in that little cute little box. But half of the places where it was folded apparently melted together in the Brazilian heat. So I had to throw this on a Mason silicone. So shout out to my boy Nino allowing me to actually use this thing. So can I recommend this? I don't know. How die-hard of a Star Wars fan are you? Do you want to spend the premium price tag of this hose and then still end up spending more money on some extra tubing? I don't know. When I get this set up and we get my bowl going and drink going, I will talk about the draw. And we are back. Alrighty, guys. So let's take a look at the tobacco for today. We've got Tangiers 2005 Blueberry. Now, unfortunately, in 2005, I was like 15 years old. So I wasn't exactly a Tangiers aficionado. But I've used all of this. So I think you could probably guess where my opinion's going to err on this one. But let's get into that smell. It's, from the second that I opened it, I knew I was going to enjoy it. I'll just say that much. It's a sweet, tangy smell. Very, very sweet. It smells like blueberry cheesecake. Sweet, creamy, tiny bit of tanginess. Now, as far as that smoke, I've got it going in the Tangier small here with 2 Golden Desert coals. And thank you and shout out to Megan. Those coals are amazing for the price. I don't think there's anything that competes with them price-wise. The quality is really up there. They might not necessarily be the absolute best on the market, but for the price, you're not going to get anywhere near that from what I've tried. And I've tried a lot of coals. So let's get some smoke going and see. This is the only flavor that is this sweet that I enjoy this much. I have to say. And if you're wondering about these reviews, I'm not necessarily
with the new Tangiers flavors. I'm not necessarily going in the order of which ones I love the most, but to an extent, yes. So this is in the top for me of the new flavors. And like I said, I don't know how it stacks up to the actual 2005 blueberry, but it's pretty damn good and pretty potent. And for Tangiers, pretty heat resistant as well. So it's just going to be a good mixer for sure. If you're a little turned off by how overly sweet it can come off, you might want to mix it up a tad. Nothing can sum it up better than canned blueberry pie filling. My only regret is that I don't have more. It's an excellent flavor, and I recommend you pick it up if you like sweet flavors, for sure. And if you're not a huge fan of sweet flavors, I still say give it a shot. It's not quite cotton candy, powdered sugar. It is sweet, though. It is very sweet. Now, as far as the draw of this hose, the bore on this is not quite as wide as an aluminum D hose. I actually like the draw on this hose a lot, but like I said, if I was going by draw with the silicone that it came with, there wouldn't be any. I couldn't hardly get an air bubble to go through the damn thing. So I can't fully recommend this hose, obviously. Now, if you're willing to hit up Nino, he might hate me for saying this, but he might sell you just silicone to throw on here if you're really that huge of a Star Wars fan that you want this. I wanted it because look at that base. This is my Skywalker setup. Now, this is the part of the review where if you have substance issues, I'm saying this as a friend, you might want to shut off because I'm going into the whiskey and I don't want to sway anybody in a negative direction. Stay strong. Any of my friends who have previously had issues with alcohol, I have. I've toned it down. I drink on some weekends, probably most weekends, but I try not to do it every single weekend, and I never drink during the week. But I have very active work to do, and it would not be conducive. So we've got Koval single barrel rye whiskey. This is distilled in Chicago. That's pretty rare from what I've seen. I've seen some Kansas City distilleries, but keep in mind that I'm in Kansas. So I don't know. Maybe there's quite a few out there, but this is the only one that I've seen locally. Judging from the paper label, I assumed the guys who made Slaughterhouse that had something to do with this, but I can't confirm or deny that. This is a 40% alcohol by volume. This is USDA organic, which I don't know if I've ever seen that. And this is 100% rye, which is not all that common, especially the times that we live in. Of course, that was more common, in the early 1900s before Prohibition. Rye whiskey is an American staple. It's a classic. It goes in so many drinks. Sazerac rye. That's one of the first American mixed drinks. So you even have like a barrel number here, WR2W64. It says certified organic by Midwest Organic, and it does not list an age. So as far as that, I'm going to say probably under 5 years, because this was like a $44 bottle, somewhere in that range. With alcohol, your prices are going to vary wildly. You really don't know, really have no clue based on my pricing, because alcohol taxes are pretty insane in the United States in some areas, especially here. But I know that I've got it better than some people. I bet in California, those are pretty insane. So I've got a single ice cube in here. All you purists, you might get mad at me. I like it. I like an ice cube or two. I don't like a glass that's loaded up with ice, and I don't like to just saturate my whiskey with water. But I do like an ice cube, and I don't always chill, but sometimes I do. I do my initial taste testing at room temperature, and then I go from there based on what I like, and I like to experiment and see what comes out with these. So I'm going to take a sip here. It's a rye. I love ryes. Ryes are my favorite because you have that bite, but it's not like a bourbon where it's just sugar with a sharp alcohol bite. The bite comes from the pepperiness of that rye grain. So pepperiness, light anise vibe on the throat. There's a bit of spice there. I'm getting an aged vanilla vibe, but what really stood out to me with this, I get a feeling of like a grapefruit rind, specifically closer to a pink grapefruit. And this is really unique to me. I haven't had a rye that tastes like this. It's not honey sweet. When I first started drinking ryes, I got into 1910 by Pendleton. Now, if you know Pendleton, the regular Pendleton is pretty terrible. It's a sugar sweet concoction, and I'm not a fan. But the 1910 is a nice starter rye if you're trying to get started. But if you can find this stuff, definitely give it a shot. If you're a fan of ryes, you're going to love it. It's not overly sweet, but it does have that nice bit of sweetness, and that's what I like about ryes. I like that mix of sweet and pepper that kind of battle it out on your palate. So, the Koval. Shout out to Spree with the Chicago. Make sure you give this one a shot if you see it. This is pretty good stuff. This is NEMO'S Smokes. Signing out. Peace.